All right, good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock and it is time for today's Lunch and Learn. And today we are going to talk about using Adobe PDF and making it non-editable. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And bring over my PowerPoint. All right, so again, we are going to make our Adobe PDF non-editable so people aren't going to steal our hard work. So if you have ever worked for hours, days, weeks on a presentation and have someone else copy it, slap their own name on it, and then they pass it off as their own, you know how frustrating that can be after you've put all that time into it. So we're going to protect our hard work. We're going to secure our PDF, and we are going to be able to allow what we want to be shared or what we want to protect so that someone else is not going to take our hard work and claim it as their own. So we are going to be able to determine what we want to share, who we want to share it with, and then be able to secure that hard work that we worked so hard with. All right, so in just a few steps, we're going to ensure that they cannot edit our document or even print our document, or if necessary, not even allow them to open a document that has confidential information. So this is a normal document, and you can see that there's no security features here. They're allowed to print, they're allowed to change it. Everything is allowed here. And so we're going to go through the steps. And rather than show you a PowerPoint slide, I will make this accessible for you so you have the steps, but I would rather actually take you through the steps on a PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off and bring you into a PDF. So let's bring that over. And of course, there's going to be multiple ways to do this, but I do want to go ahead and show you the ways that I have found so far. So here we have a PDF opened in Adobe, and this version is Adobe Pro, but I do believe that your regular Acrobat Adobe is going to work just the same way. I did try it out on another computer just to make sure those options were there, and I did see them, so this should work. Okay, so I've opened up a PDF, and it's just a PDF of the PowerPoint that I was starting off with. And so you see if I go to File, then I can see that there is a way to protect using password. So I could click right there. And I can either protect the viewing or the editing. So viewing would be if you have confidential information and you do not want others to see it unless they are supposed to. This might be for a SPED document, things like that. So you could protect it that way. Or if you just don't want them to edit the information, again, I've had presentations that I've created, and then people have taken my presentations and taken my name off and put their name on, and they've gone on to present my information. And they say that's a form of flattery, but after all the work you put into a presentation, I really don't want that kind of flattery. I want them to put the effort into their presentations. So either way, you are going to have to put in a password. So you're going to type in a password. Yep, my fat finger there. And then you can apply that password. And right down here, you're going to notice that it did pop up and say that the file is successfully protected from editing using password. So you do get that confirmation that it did get protected. Now, there is another way that you can get that same screen to pop up. If you have this navigation bar here on the side in your version of Adobe, there is a purple shield right here called Protect. And if you click on that, it's going to open up right across here. And it's going to have that same exact protect using password option. Now, because I've already put that password in, it's grayed out for me, but if I had not, it would allow me to click on it here and bring up that exact same window. And so those are two ways that you can get to that same exact area. And then I'm going to show you one more way. So let me see if I can take this off. So I'm going to go, see if I'll move ahead, go ahead and move along. So I'm going to go into edit this time. So under edit, I can go under protection. So edit and protection and go to security properties. Now, this is that first screen that I showed you that had allowed all the way down, that everyone could just do whatever they wanted to on here. And so now you can see that we have a few not allowed, so they couldn't change the document and they couldn't content copy some of this. So now I have a few restrictions here. So up here, the method is password security, whereas a minute ago it said no security. If you use this little drop down arrow, you do see there's some options here. Some of them you have to pay for. So you will probably use either no security or password security. And so we can keep it just like that. Now, if you go under change settings, then you can go and change a lot of things right here. So right here, if you wanted to have a password so that they had to have that in order to open the document, you would check mark this, and that's where you would put in a password, and then you would share that only with the individuals that need to open the document. Otherwise, you would leave that one off. Okay. All we really want to do is make sure they don't edit the document, make changes, and call it their own for this particular purpose. But if that is something you're interested in, that's in that same area. So right here under permissions, that's what we're going to concentrate on right here. If you do not want them to print it, you can actually change this to where they can't print it. So you could say none, no printing allowed. Authors will use this a lot. If they are releasing a few chapters of a book that they're writing, they will put no printing allowed, and people cannot print the book, the PDF, unless they want to do like screenshot at a time, page by page, which would be long and kind of excruciating for someone to do. Then they can actually set it to no printing allowed, and that way someone is not printing off and releasing information ahead of time. So you can change it to no printing allowed. If you have something that's very colorful and graphic specific, you could say that you want it to be able to be printed, but in low resolution. That way they aren't getting the full, beautiful graphic presentation that you have in there. So they might be able to print it, but it's not going to come out very pretty. So you do have those options in there. And then changes allowed. You can, again, use this drop-down menu. And this way you can determine if they are allowed to make any changes to this PDF document. So maybe you're going to allow them to insert or delete or rotate a page. Or maybe it's a form that they need to fill in and they can sign it. That's all they can do, fill in and sign. Maybe you're working on a project and you want them to be able to comment. They can fill in the form fields and they can sign. Maybe you want them to be able to do anything that they want to with the document, but they can't pull out certain pages. So you have some options in here. For myself, giving the example of a presentation, I would say I don't want them to make any changes to my presentation, so they can't change it and put in their logo. They can't change it and put in their name. So I would say no changes allowed for my example that I was giving. You can check mark here if you want them to be able to copy the text, the images, or any of the content in there, if you want them to be able to copy some of it. Without that check mark, they cannot even go in and do like a right click and copy an image or copy some of the text. Without that check mark, they aren't even allowed to do that. They would just be able to do maybe a screenshot of something. So that prevents some of that editing as well, or copying. I always leave this check marked, enable text access for screen readers. So for those who need to have a screen reader device on their computer in order to be able to read something, we don't want to limit them from being able to see and hear the screen reader. And so I always keep that checked in. And this is that password that we had typed in earlier. That's what that is right there. And if you wanted to change it, you could go in and type a new password there. So you have that functionality right there. This compatibility just depends on which Acrobat version that you are using. And so you could make it the most recent version, or you could even go down to 6.0 in this particular case. So from 6.0 on, they would be able to, this document would be compatible with any of those. Do you want to encrypt all document contents? Encrypt all document contents except metadata. And some of that's kind of techie out there, but there are some pieces of information that are just like bits and bytes that you could actually keep in there. Most likely, just putting it on the very, very top right here, encrypt all document contents, is going to be sufficient for what you are doing this for. So we're going to go ahead and click on OK. Oh, I didn't hold on to my password there. Somehow I managed to wipe it out. And just kind of a little warning message there. And then it wants me to type in my password again, just to make sure that I know it. And now you can see here, it is telling me the restrictions summary. And so changing the document is not allowed, commenting is not allowed. So you can see here all of the different securities that are enforced on here. And then we click on OK. Now I can still keep on working on this until I hit save. And then once I hit save, it's going to ask for passwords if I want to make any changes to it. So once I hit save, now if I try to go in and change anything, then it's going to ask for that password. So even as the person that created it, I have to put the password in order to make any changes. So so now I can't make any changes in here. Again, I tried to do a copy on that. Nope, give me a password before you can do anything. So nothing that I can do to this document before I can do anything, it's going to ask me for that password. So even if I was to try to save it, I could try to save it and put it as a different name. When I try to open it, it has this secured feature, and you can see it even in the title right up here. Whenever I try to save it, it's going to keep and hold on to that security in there, and it's not going to allow allow any changes, even if it's saved under a different name. So it's got that protection. It's encrypted really, really tightly to where people are not going to be able to manipulate it and be able to go into it. So it's a nice feature that Adobe has built in. It's pretty strong. It's definitely secure so that people do not take your hard work and run away with it. So, all right, so I am going to go ahead and close this out and trying to be respectful of everyone's time, especially those who are on lunch breaks. And so if there is anyone who has a question, please go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself and ask. I don't know if I have the answer or not, but please feel free to ask, and I can try to find the answer for you. And you can even give me your email address if you want me to respond to you. I meant to bring up my last slide, so I will go ahead and do that if there's questions. So please, while I'm doing this, go ahead and unmute and ask questions if you have them. Don't be shy. All right, I do have up on the screen my email address. If you do have any questions or if you run into any problems, I will put this PowerPoint as a PDF on the website where you had the registration links. I will put this up so that you have all the different steps. A word of caution, you do need to make sure that you remember that password, because if you forget that password, there is no way of retrieving it. So you must not lock yourself out. So please make sure that you don't forget that password, so that you don't lock yourself out of being able to edit it. But if it is also in a Word document, or in my case, it was a PowerPoint that I converted to a PDF, you should have the original as well. But just know that those passwords cannot be retrieved. So if you forget the password, you are kind of out of luck on that. So are there any questions out there? These lunch and learns, we try to make them kind of down and dirty, just quick and to the point. Hopefully I didn't rush too fast. I kind of get in a little fast mode just to make sure I can get everything in there, but hopefully not too fast that you didn't follow along. All right. Hopefully you all have had a chance to visit our website. You might have come to the website through Region 9, who we are collaborating with this year. Very excited about doing that. And so if not, let me go ahead and show you our website that you can go to, as well as Region 9's. So let's go ahead and get that up for you. Thank you, Paula. Let's see, where is my link for that? All right, so here is the Southwest REC Tech Bytes page, and it's Southwest REC is swrecnm.org. And then Tech Bytes has the /Tech Bytes. You can go to the departments, go to technology services and find the link. There's a picture that rotates on our homepage that you can get that to. Our events are here on the side, and then you can click on the links or even the pictures to be able to get to our list of upcoming sessions. And I also have our REC 9's sessions as well. I will add this PowerPoint right here on the Tech Bytes area so that you can grab that if you would like to have some, and I do make it printable, so that you can have your screenshots so that you can walk through that whenever you need that information. So we really hope that you'll take advantage and come back and see some of our other sessions as well. The archives are here, which also is linked with Region 9's as well. And then we have our YouTube channel where we post our recordings as well. So we're really, really glad and happy to have seen so many people participating today. And thank you so very much for joining in our quick lunch and learn session. And if there are no other questions or comments that you would like to share with us, I will give you back the rest of your lunch break so that you can go and take care of the things that you need to take care of. So thank you again, everyone, for coming in and joining us. And we hope to see you again sometime in the very near future. Thank you so much.